Hey everyone, and welcome to the NBC Charlotte Sports Podcast. I'm Nick Carboni, and we are coming to you this Friday from Spartanburg. Just got done last night with the Panthers' first practice of training camp. Good to see the guys back out there. Good to see the fans out there, and the fans were really happy to see Cam Newton out there coming off his second shoulder surgery in the last 3 years. It's also impossible to say shoulder surgery. But Cam was looking good, and he was throwing it deep, which I think a lot of people were really happy to see. That as a very positive sign for Cam Newton and the 2019 Panthers. But this podcast is all about defensive back James Bradberry, the former second-round pick out of Samford, is entering his fourth season with the team. He's been a pretty good cover corner the whole way, covering some of the top receivers in football just in his division alone, but he's only snagged 5 interceptions. We talked about why that's a priority going forward, his contract, which is expiring at the end of the year, and the situation there, and a lot of his interests off the field, which include swimming at the Mecklenburg Aquatic Center and cooking. We had him grill some Wagyu beef, which was pretty fun, and he's pretty good at it. He's really interested in both of those things, and we had a fun conversation, so here it is. Take me through your swimming. I know it's something a lot of people have kind of keyed in on every offseason. When did that start for you, and what do you like about it?
It started about 2 years ago. I started when I went back home and trained with my trainer at Godspeed. So I would train at the Hoover Rec Center, do a little swimming, and then I brought up to Carolina when I found out where the Mecklenburg Aquatic Center was. So I do it every now and then. I don't have like a routine that I do it every week, but I do it every now and then.
What does it help you with? I mean, what's beneficial for you about it?
It's pretty much like active recovery. It's not taking a lot of stress on your joints. It's taking some of the stress off of it, and just also getting your cardio in, getting your workout in as well.
Have you gotten any other teammates to try it with you?
No, I typically go in there by myself. I like to go in there and be focused and do it alone.
Can you listen to music while you're under there? Do you have like waterproof headphones?
No, I'm just swimming, just having my thoughts flowing, and I'm just trying to get the workout in.
Is it kind of like a peaceful getaway to be under the water by yourself, not, with no distractions?
Oh, sure. It's therapeutic, I would say that.
Why is it therapeutic?
Because, like you said, I can't listen to any music. Pretty much listen to myself swimming. And I get to think, by myself, and it's me versus the water.
And what kind of workouts are you doing, and did you have to kind of build yourself up? Because it's tougher than a lot of people might think.
I'm just swimming, really. I grew up swimming, so I went to the Boys and Girls Club back home, and they taught me how to swim, and I've been swimming ever since. I've always had a love for swimming. So, it's definitely hard, though. You got to get back used to it. The first time I went in there, I didn't do too much. I tired myself out early on.
Do you ever get kind of people going, well, who's that guy? Because, you're obviously a big physical guy. You're an NFL football player, but you're at the Mech Aquatic Center with probably like a lot of old folks and people who aren't too athletic.
It was only one instance where an older guy, he recognized me. But for the most part, people don't really pay attention.
Cooking, you're 25, right?
Exactly.
Like a lot of 25-year-old guys, cooking is throwing a frozen pizza in the oven. When did this start for you? Where are you at with it? You still trying to get better with it, and why do you like it so much?
I was kind of forced into the role of cooking. So when I first got in the league, I remember me and Daryl was hanging out or whatnot, and he saw me cooking beanie weenies in my hotel room, and he got on to me about that. And then going into my second year, I kind of just picked it up, So I have to eat healthy. I have to watch what I eat because I play a professional sport. And just watch the calories, watch the carbs. So then I started looking more stuff up on the internet, Pinterest, and it just helps me out with my diet.
What's your specialty? Do you have one?
My specialty, what I typically cook baked chicken. I might do some salmon, broccoli. I like mashed cauliflower. It's a lot of vegetables, low carbs.
So for me, if like I have a recipe and instructions, I have to follow it to a T. Like I cannot break off of that at all or I'll screw it up. Do you like to stick to that script or you freelance a little bit in the kitchen?
I did that at first, but then I found that the whole thing wasn't coming out how I wanted to. So then I just started freelancing and started putting stuff that I like. So I found that I like garlic a lot. Of course, I like salt because I can retain water when I eat a lot of salt. Pepper. I like a lot of spices, so Cajun spices, hot sauce, anything that makes it spicy.
Take me back to growing up in Pleasant Grove, Alabama. Is that right outside of Birmingham?
Yes, sir.
What was life like for you there growing up?
It's a small city. A lot of my friends, we grew up around each other. We would hang out with each other. A lot of people in the area, they know each other. We got 2 gas stations. Of course, I went to the Boys and Girls Club a lot, so that's how how I met a lot of my friends in the area, in Hueytown, Fairfield, Bessemer, because a lot of the kids go to that Boys and Girls Club.
What's your earliest memory of football?
My earliest memory of football. Remember a tackling drill. I got hit in the stomach and I cried.
How old were you? Under 10, I hope.
Oh yeah, I was about 7 or 8.
All right, so that's probably not the moment you fell in love with football, but that was my next question. When was that moment for you?
The moment I fell in love with football, I believe I caught an interception in Little League, and then that's how I kind of fell into the role of cornerback.
So a lot of times when I interview a guy that's in the NFL, I like to go to their rivals page from when they were in high school. Mm-hmm. And I went to yours, and you probably know this by now, 2 stars, and they didn't even put a picture of you in there. So how do you go from that to 4th year starting in the NFL?
Well, actually, I didn't get those 2 stars until I signed with Arkansas State, and they gave them to me. They just handed them to me. But I mean, just hard work. Of course, I was blessed by the good man up above, the Lord. He's blessed me with a lot of abilities. Good mother, good foundation. And I've had coaches along the way that helped me as well to hone in on my craft and my technique. So I mean, it's not only myself; it's everything involved around me.
When you get, I guess, no stars and you're in high school, do you have the mentality of, I got to do a lot to get better, or is there they don't know who I am yet. They don't know how good I am yet?
It's a little bit of both. Some days you feel like you're the best in the country, and then some days, you gotta you feel down on yourself because you don't have any scholarships, you don't have any stars, you're not getting any recognition. But it just comes back to your mental toughness, man. You got to be real mentally tough, and just know that you're good enough.
You mentioned the interception in Little League as being the moment you fell in love with football. Mm-hmm. It seems like every time you get interviewed, people want to know about interceptions. Where do interceptions rank on the priority list of what you're trying to do on the football field, play after play?
Right now it's number 1 because I have a lack of interceptions. So right now my number 1 priority is to get more interceptions going into next year.
The other part is, for the first time as a professional, you're coming into a contract season. This is your final year. What is it like for you personally to field questions about that and to be dealing with that situation?
I mean, I guess a lot of people expect me to be real stressed about it, but I'm not feeling too stressed about it. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I understand it's a business, and I'm just going to be patient, and I'm expecting to play out this year and hit free agency market. So
you're going to play out this year without an extension, or are you seeking an extension?
I mean, that's my mindset right now. So I want to come into the season hoping that I'm going to get an extension, and it doesn't happen, then I'll be let down. So my mindset is just play out the season and then hit free agency. Yeah. That's the worst case scenario.
Would you ever think about, well, maybe I could gamble on myself, bet on myself, and have a really good year and then hit the open market as with maybe some bigger contracts out there for you?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's plenty of scenarios that the situation can happen, but that's the situation I'm looking at right now.
Okay. Besides the interceptions, everybody kind of looks at you as a really good cover corner right now in this league. Mm-hmm. What's it been like the last 3 years going up against the Julios, the Mike Evans, the Michael Thomases every single year, twice a year in this division?
It's hectic, very stressful, but I mean, that's what we get paid to do. That's what we're asked to do, and I try my best every time I go out there.
Ron Rivera told us a couple weeks ago that you're the type of cornerback you want to keep around. I don't know if you heard that yet, but what does it mean to you to have your head coach talk about you like that?
I mean, it feels good. It gives you a lot of confidence going into the year. I look up to Coach Ron Rivera. I feel like he's a great guy, great coach, and he's put me in the best position possible when I go out on the field.
Do you have a personal goal for this season?
Personal goal, have 5 interceptions or more.
Why 5?
Just came up with a number in my head.
Seems like a good number.
Yeah.
You have a favorite interception that you've had in the past 5 in the past 3 years?
My favorite one was probably against Tampa Bay when we played my rookie year when we was away. Because, of course, I picked off Jameis Winston, and we grew up playing against each other. And then, of course, it was an acrobatic catch that I made. So.
I was going to ask you about Jameis because you mentioned Bessemer was in that kind of group, the Boys and Girls Club. Did you know him growing up?
Yeah, so the first time meeting him, played him in Little League. And at that time, he was a Little League phenom, so everybody knew about him in the city. And then I met him again when we was at the Boys and Girls Club, and this was, because at the time we was about the same height. And then when I met him again, he was 6'4", and yada, yada. So, I've known him for a while, though. He's a great friend of mine.
How'd you do against him in Little League?
In Little League, I got a sack against him. And then when we played each other in high school, I didn't get an interception, but we beat him.
But you got one in the NFL, so that counts a little more.
Sure.
You're not a big talker on the field, at least as far as I know, but did you say something to him after that?
We spoke after the game. You know, he was he congratulated me on an interception, but he was also a little, I don't want to say pissed, but he was mad about it.
Last question. I know that the defense has a lot of pride, especially in this organization. Watching that Amazon series, I know you haven't seen it, but you were in the room when Eric Washington basically said, you know, nobody's bigger than the tradition that this defense has had. Do you kind of take it as a personal point of pride to make this defense what it was again coming into this season?
Oh, for sure. And just speaking like on the back end, I know before I got into the league, we were Thieves Ave, and we're still Thieves Ave. So we're trying to get everyone to hold that tradition and pretty much set the mark even higher than they did back in 2015 or the previous years.
Cool. We'll just do a quick kind of rapid fire, lighthearted, no contract questions, and just first thing that comes to mind for anything. So you're about to go to Spartanburg. Give me the 3 things you need to survive the dorm life at Wofford.
You need a pillow.
They don't give you a pillow?
Well,
you got to bring your own pillow?
But you need a comfy pillow. You need a comfy pillow. I always bring my yoga mat to stretch when I get back to the room, and I always bring a bottle of water.
All right. Why do you wear number 24?
Because it was available when they gave me the selection. So I had 24, 26, 31. I didn't want any 30s, so it was between 24 and 26, and I like 24 better.
30s like it'll make you look slow or something?
Yeah, I'm trying to look fast out there. So.
You face a lot of the great receivers in the league, as we've talked about. Who's the one receiver you get to face this year that you haven't, that you're looking forward to the most?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Why?
I haven't faced him yet, and he's pretty much the best receiver other than Julio, I feel like, right now.
What was your welcome to the NFL moment?
My welcome to the NFL moment? I guess the 300-yard game by Julio. Even though I didn't.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. But just going out there before the game, like the first play of the game was pretty cool because he's from Alabama, so.
You famously were fixing a toilet when you got drafted. What's the last thing you fixed?
The last thing I fixed.
That toilet?
I didn't even fix that toilet yet, to be honest with you. The water faucet back home.
Okay. Your Madden rating is a 79. What should your Madden rating be?
93.
Yeah, 93.
Like 94, 95.
Something in the 90s, I say that.
All right. Hey, thanks, James. I appreciate it.
So in addition to getting 5 interceptions this year, James actually told us he wants to spend every Tuesday, that's the mandated player's day off in the league, he wants to spend that day at the Mecklenburg Aquatic Center swimming laps, and he wants to get really good at it. It's going to help him with his cardio, certainly, but as he gets older and, wear and tear in this league starts to weigh heavy on him, he can use that as a way to kind of an easy exercise, easy on the joints. So special thanks to James and everybody who came together to get that done. That was really fun. The voice you heard in the background, by the way, was Kevon Seymour, his teammate who was at the interview with us. He's a really fun guy and a guy that could provide some depth for the Panthers this year coming off a double shoulder surgery. So we'll have to get him in here at some point. So anyway, thanks for listening to the NBC Charlotte Sports Podcast. Sorry, it's been a long week in Spartanburg. And we'll have much more from training camp on WCNC.com and here on the podcast. Thanks.